I would like to introduce Final Form, one of the best protein and nutrition supplements on the market. Make sure that you follow the links and get a pair of supplements and protein. Big gains. Final Form. Out. I don't know. Yeah,
That's not bad. I'll leave it in.
I'ma strip the wealth, even if I touch a meal. And do it through the pain, I don't need a pill. And life gon' get me down, but it won't break my will. Cause I've been chasing this so long, I can't give up. I won't give in, been through too much. I done prayed for the money, I done prayed for the fame. I done prayed that I will make a sacrifice and play this game. I done prayed that my life would never be the same. I done prayed that I will make it bring glory to my name.
We're live. We're live in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Uncle Strib. We have my brother from the same mother, my actual biological brother, my metaphorical brother, one of the closest friends and people to me in my life, Mr. Kylan Stribling.
How's everybody doing?
And obviously we switched up the studio because shout out to Zach and the Blend, but they took my table in the studio because they had like a market event for the 5K for it's like a 5K health thing where they run an awareness of health and movement, and there's different like cancer awareness things there. So they took the table, and the church that is a part of this complex is rehearsing, so it's loud because the wall to the studio is right there next to the church, which obviously when I do the pods on Tuesdays for the Uncle Stribs, the church is rehearsing, but it's loud in there. So we're out here in like the part of the gym. How about, since I believe is this your first time on Uncle Strib?
I think it might be.
I know I've had
like
you
they
on
would-
the NFL coverage stuff because we usually do NFL draft stuff. But this might be the first Uncle Strib. So go ahead, just introduce yourself. Obviously, for people that don't know you, I'm pretty much gonna know, but kind of introduce yourself. Where you grew up, how it was. Where you, as much as you want to do an intro, but we're gonna get to like the meat and potatoes of the conversation after that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lock the door real quick. Look, all right, go ahead.
Well, name's Kylan Stribling. So, no, where I'm from, Nashville, Tennessee, for people not from Nashville, Tennessee. But really the suburbs of Nashville, kind of South Nashville, originally from Jackson, Tennessee, West Nashville.
Wilco, baby. Williamson County. So, in a city called Spring Hill. Whoa.
/ Thompson Station.
We're from Thompson Station. 37179.
We get our water from Spring Hill. That's how close we are to Spring Hill.
No, we're literally on the border. No, I think 6 houses down is Spring Hill.
Spring Hill, exactly.
But
Now,
we pay Thompson Station taxes.
all I gotta say is barely on the Wilco line. So, but we are from Williamson County. They call it the Williamson County bubble or Wilco bubble,
Wilco, baby.
to be exact. If you know, you know. Yeah, growing up was good. Played sports with this guy over here. Was wildly successful in sports and in academics. But don't ask my teachers that. Don't ask. Don't look up my transcripts. But yeah, so there's that. Went to college in Murfreesboro, famous for Toots, if you know, you know. Actually, give them a shout out. Like, go to Toots and be like, Kylan sent me. See what they say.
Good luck.
But yeah, so there, yeah.
Okay, now let's start. Where do we start? It's kind of weird asking you like childhood because I was there.
Yeah, I know, right?
But I guess let's. I'm actually interested because I'm kind of some of these pods. I kind of ask questions for the viewers and the listeners, and not because like a lot of people I have on, I've known them already. So some of the stuff I ask is kind of get their thing out there. But I'm kind of gonna do this a little different, where I'm gonna ask things I'm curious about.
Okay.
So, which not to say I'm not curious about people's stuff that I ask, but like I'm only really gonna ask questions I'm curious about because, anyway. So me and Kylan are 2 years apart, 2 grades apart. So when I graduated high school, I went off to play ball, whatever. And Kylan still had his senior year in high school. I want to know what the dynamic was at the house when I left. Let's start there.
So I was the captain of the household at that point. I was not the captain. The dynamic, man. I would just say me and Mocha at that time really bonded. Taking care of
Mocha is my dog that I have. So for context, Mocha, I couldn't take him to Mizzou with me when I lived in the dorms. So I basically asked my mom to watch Mocha for a year, and then once I moved off campus, I'd bring him back to Mizzou with me once I lived off campus. So he kind of raised him.
That got delegated to me, if you were curious. But yeah, I would say that's good. Trey was being Trey, growing up and being in school. But I don't know. I think the dynamic was just I had to do a lot more chores around the house. Had to kind of hold up that mantle, but kind of same old. I feel like I wasn't really at the house much those 2 years. I was always like doing sports or going to camp.
So how was independence once that class left? I've talked to the teachers when I've gone back, and they, a lot of them say it's just wasn't the same after our class left. How much of that is like legit, and how much that's just favoritism?
It could be some favor. Your class was a really good class. I'd probably say our class probably was equal to or surpassed. I think it was very subjective.
I will say a lot of them said once our class, things started to fall down, and then when y'all left, it was like I've heard both of our classes, like when we left, it kind of started a little bit of like a weird kind of downfall thing, and then I heard for sure like when y'all's class left, everything just was like completely different.
Yeah.
I have heard both of our classes.
My junior year, it was interesting. I won't throw anyone under the bus. I gotta keep on remembering this recorded. I won't throw anyone under the bus, but it was interesting. It was different. Essentially, us as juniors were better than the seniors. So, but it wasn't a weird dynamic. Like there wasn't any jealousy or like envy or something like that. Like there wasn't any of that going on. But
it was just facts. Like
this
class is clearly
athletically, school spirit. Just we got along. Our junior class, we got along with each other a lot better than the senior class. So it was just kind of like a purgatory period of like, all right, like y'all got a year and then y'all go get out.
Yeah,
we gonna have a really good year next year.
Let them have their seniority, and then it's like, all right, yeah, most of your guys are gone.
Yeah, but there were some cool people in that class. Like I really liked. That year was whatever. But my senior year, it was like 10 out of 10, probably 11 out of 10. We won state championship, went undefeated. First time in school history. Basketball, we almost went to the state tournament in basketball. And then in track, I mean, no one thought we were going to be good in track, but we literally had like the third best 4x1. We went to the state, we ran the finals in the 4x4. So we did good. I mean, I placed 4th in the 100 meter. Like Nathan did really good. For you don't know, he's my past teammate, but went to the University of Michigan and played receiver, but he did good in triple jump.
Yeah.
So our track team was underrated, essentially. Yeah. So athletically, we're good. Everybody got along. It was a really fun year to be an Independence Eagle.
Now transition. So you got a scholarship to play at the Middle Tennessee State, which is in Murfreesboro. For people that don't know, that's about a 40-minute drive straight east of where we live off 840.
Yeah.
Why MTSU?
Well, why MTSU? Well, to give everybody a little bit more context, my recruiting journey is I think I had around 18, 19 D1 scholarship offers. So a lot of them were FCS. for people who don't know, FCS like it's still D1, but one step down from FBS. FBS is like your Alabamas, your Tennessees, but then there's 2 sections in the FBS. One is called mid-majors, so you have your Western Kentuckys, you have your
like little, like still big schools,
Yeah.
but like small.
San Jose State, San Diego State. So mid-majors, kind of smaller schools. And then you had your Power Fives.
At the time, Power Five.
Yeah, at the time, Power Five, which is your like SEC, Big Ten, all that stuff. So I only had I had 5 offers, FBS offers. So it was really like I knew I wanted to play kind of at the highest level.
Right.
I could to get exposure. So that was really like my final 5. And so I had Army, which I want to say my first FBS offer might have been Army. I don't know if it was WKU or Army. It was relatively like the same week.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I didn't go to Army because Army was, I didn't want to go to the military, but
Because you have to serve.
the coach came to my practice and he was like, would you come to our school? I was like, yeah. Like I was just trying to get a scholarship offer, but like I wasn't serious about actually going to University of Army.
You didn't even say like I consider it, or I think.
No, I was just like, yeah, I'll go. And I just never went. Well, he called me like plenty of times, and he would like be like, "We're just such a good school and stuff like that."
I mean, they are in the grand scheme of things. They are.
Well, it's like,
it's just, do you want to serve as well?
well, I didn't know West Point was like so academically prestigious.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
People essentially like West Point is essentially like an Ivy League school.
Yeah.
Like academics wise.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know the benefits. I would have maybe seriously considered them, like
If you
looking
had
back
known all
on
that,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. And then we played West Point. MTSU played West Point, and we went up there. I was like, it's a pretty cool place. It's like really historic. I didn't know it was in New York State. So like I was just like, this is actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't mind going here. But then we had Eastern Michigan, which I was really interested in because it was like the only school that was like kind of far away from me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was kind of like, I'm tired of being at the house, tired of being in Tennessee, that would be kind of the school I would go to.
Right.
But when mom sat me down and was just kind of like, we would go to like one game maybe. Like,
How far is that?
yeah, it's like, I think it's like a 13, no, maybe like 11 hours. It's like literally on the border of Canada.
Oh, it's that north?
It's that, like literally like
I didn't know. it was
30-minute drive, you're dang near in Canada. I could be wrong on that, but when I looked it up when I was in high school, that's what
It seemed pretty far north. Yeah.
The north is good. And so I was just like, I don't want, because you're still playing ball, and it's easy for them to like come to Murfreesboro and then go to Missouri, like have one long trip.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, mom and dad probably go to like 2 games in my whole entire career. I probably would never be back home because it's so far away.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to do that. So then it really came down. Well, Missouri offered, unofficially offered.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I pulled every string I could fucking pull to get them to give you an offer. I'm pulling strings I didn't have. I'm like, bro, he is a duck. Because we played together. I know what you're, and then obviously I knew a lot of it was biased because you're my brother. But even if you're I'm a very objective person. I know how to take biases out of it. If you weren't a dog and you were still my brother and they came to me like, how is he? I would be honest and be like, he's good, but he's not SEC football good. I would have still been honest, you're my brother. So I don't know, I don't know how they viewed it, as if I'm just being honest because my brother, but I would have not been advocating for you if I didn't think you wouldn't have been an absolute dog at that school. So I was telling them, like, I'm telling y'all, he is a dog, like, we gotta get him. And the crazy part is, we needed a safety. They were gonna move me to safety. That's how much we needed a safety. Coach Gerns, the one that recruited me, he was trying to get me to move to safety because at the time we needed a safety because the time you were being recruited, we had a lot of vet safeties getting ready to dip out. So, but anyway, I was up there advocating for them to give you a scholarship.
Well, here's the story of my recruitment with Missouri. One, before I went up there, like East School has like your big recruiting websites is like your Rivals, your 24/7 Sports. I think On3 is big now, but when I was in high school,
I don't even
On3
think they existed, did they?
They
Or
maybe were like in
small.
their infancy, but like those are your kind of big ones. And then you have your ESPN, which they usually kind of get guys from those other three.
Yeah, they reference like 24/7 Sports a lot.
Exactly. So the Rivals guy wanted to do an article on me before I even went to the camp because I was going to Missouri camp. I was going to go to Missouri camp. So the Rivals guy was like, I want to do an article. I want to like link up because, you know, Finest, you know, your brother, you're getting, at that time, I probably had like 11, 12 offers. So they're like, okay, you got
starting to gain some traction.
Yeah, I was gaining traction in my recruitment process. And so I was like, yeah. And he was like, let's see how you do at the camp. And so then I went to the camp, you know, showed out. I mean,
yeah, you're the best athlete on.
Yeah, I was by far the best. But what was surprising was I performed so good at receiver at the camp because in the middle of the camp,
I remember that.
Well, in the camp, I'll tell you this straight up, that was the hottest camp I ever did in my life. Like you could see the mirage.
Yeah, because it's turf.
On the turf.
It's turf. So that black asphalt it makes it so much hotter.
Bro, my feet were burning. And so I was like, bro, but at this time this was like maybe my third, fourth camp during that summer circuit. And so I knew what my 40 was. I knew what I could do.
Yeah.
Like I was performing well at all these camps. And then, so I was real confident. And they said, okay, we're going to do offense and defense. Everybody's going to do it. So I was like, okay. Now, our offensive scheme, bro, if you cannot play receiver when you come into Independence, by the time you leave Independence, you will have the best hands. I'm talking about our head coach.
We run college offenses.
Yeah, we run college offenses, but like our head coach was a West Coast guy. He played at San Diego State. Like he was a Cali guy. So I'm talking about 5 o'clock in the morning. We're running routes
in the gym.
Running your slant route. You're going through the whole route tree probably twice a day. 300 days out of the year. So if you ain't got no hands, you're gonna have hands by the time you leave. Decent ones.
You're gonna catch open balls.
Exactly. Yeah. So if I'm over here, we're running routes, we're doing all this stuff. I'm catching everything. Catching everything, running routes, running crisp routes, doing sticks like 1, 2, 3 stick. Like I'm going crazy. And so in the middle of the camp, the Missouri coach came up to me and was just like, you play offense? Like you play receiver? And I was like, I don't play receiver at my high school. Like I don't even play at all on offense. And he was like, well, because going into the camp, I knew like Missouri had 3 cornerback commits at the time. Yeah. And I think like literally the night before the camp, they got a 4th cornerback commit. Yeah. And so I was like, dang, like I don't know if they have any more slots open. I don't really know their recruiting situation. So I was really trying to play defense in college. I was trying to play cornerback. And so when he said that, I was like, you know, I can still do some receiver drills. And he was like, all right, after the camp, like we're going to do some routes and I want to see you at receiver. So I go through the whole camp. Mind you, every school at the camp, because they had Missouri State, they had every single FCS Missouri school at the camp.
SEMO.
They had SEMO, they had Missouri State, they had like 3 other FCS schools. And in the middle of the camp, all of them offered me in the middle of the camp. Like, so I was like, okay, I got like 5 offers at this camp. Missouri is going to give me an offer at the end of this camp because I'm doing so good. Then, so I do the routes with the receivers. And so then I talked to, not Coach Grinch, who's the black DB coach?
Coach Ford.
Ford. I talked to him and he was like, he just kind of pulled me aside. And he said, we already have all our slots filled up at cornerback.
Yeah, I remember that.
But if you want to play receiver, we'll offer you at receiver. And I was there like, in my mind, I could have been like, I'll just play receiver, like kind of like I did with the Army person and just take the offer. But then at the same time, I was like, what is it going to look like I commit to Missouri as an SEC receiver and I don't even play receiver for my high school? It don't make no sense, right?
It does. Well, at the time, it makes sense. Looking back at it, there are so many guys like Diggs' brother. He switched to corner. He didn't play corner. He was a receiver. Sometimes coaches see, and then a lot of times what they'll do is they'll bring you on as a receiver, play receiver, and the moment a DB gets moved, switched, gets kicked off, whatever, they switch you over. stuff like that. But I honestly think I was hoping you were gonna say yes to play offense, because in my mind, no matter, because I know you're a dog, like the hard working, whatever position they put you in, you're trying to be the best at the position. Because I remember at one point they were trying to get you like linebacker drills, right? They were talking about linebacker, but anyway, I knew, but I was hoping you'd take, because in my mind I'm like, if he gets to come in at receiver, they put you at receiver, every motherfucker is gonna have to show up every day, because you're gonna take a nigga's spot.
Yeah, I mean, if I would have trained, if I would just exactly what you said, like whatever position I focused on, I would have been successful in. But at the time, I was so headset
on
like
playing, which I understand. I understand. You want to play the position you want to play. You go where you want to play. So I get that.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, me and one-on-ones, like, bro, that should have been so much fun.
And so like, but then the Rivals. So after the Rivals guy does an interview on me, he writes an article saying I was the MVP of the entire camp. And so then after he wrote that article, I'm talking about I'm having every single recruiting site like asking for an interview, all this other stuff. And so, you know, it was successful after that, but that was pretty much it. But then there was a factor in it where I was just kind of like thinking about like, you know what I'm saying, like going to another university, kind of like making a name for myself and stuff like that on that end as well. But so that kind of was the Missouri situation. Now, you definitely have your schools that come in last second and offer you before signing day. I won't really go into that because I feel like those are, I don't know, they could, you know, they're rare offers for some people, but I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to do that.
No.
But Rutgers was one of those schools that wanted to try to offer me at the last second. Like,
maybe let's hope they can steal you.
Yeah, and I ain't never been to the school. I didn't know nothing about New Jersey. I didn't even know Rutgers was in New Jersey.
I didn't know that until you just said that right now.
Like, I was like, bro, I'm going to go all the way to New Jersey, and I haven't been there. And at the time, Rutgers was not good. Like, they weren't good my whole college career before, when I was getting recruited by them and everything. So it really came down to WKU and MTSU. At the time, I was back and forth. WKU offered me first. They had the better football program at the time. But MTSU kind of was like, oh, he got offered by WKU, we gonna offer.
Yeah, because I know WKU and MTSU, they compete for a lot of like recruiting.
Recruits and, you know, their rivals and stuff like that.
Yeah, because WKU even honors that Hope Scholarship in Tennessee just to get people from Tennessee to go there.
It's very similar to like your Auburn, Alabama.
Like almost like a rivalry.
So, but the two main factors was, even though I kind of liked Western Kentucky's school more, like the campus atmosphere, like just the area, and I really liked their program, the deciding factor was essentially like the head coach. Because at the time, it was Coach Braun or something like that. Like, he went to Purdue afterwards, but essentially, like, he was there. He was a young coach. Like, he was like in his 30s. He won. He was like going to conference championships back to back. I said, this dude's not gonna be here. He might not be here next year.
He's gonna
elevate. He's gonna elevate. I don't want to get to a school and then the coaches that recruit me just dip out and leave.
I got a story for you.
And then you have a new set of coaches come in, especially as a freshman. You're gonna be like at such a disadvantage because it's not like you have tape to where the coaching staff can come on and say, okay, he started a season or he played these games. We have tape to evaluate him and stuff like that. So as a freshman, you'd be at a really big disadvantage. So I was like, I'm not want to be in that situation. But MTSU, Coach Stockstill, he just signed like a 5-year extension, actually a 7-year extension. And then from his contract, he put back $3 million into the football program for like the players' cost of living. Is before.
Oh, dang, he did?
Yes.
Shout out Coach Stockstill.
He was like, MTSU was one of the first group of 5 football programs that had a cost of living.
Or cost of attendance.
Yeah.
So people that don't know, cost of attendance is, it's pre-NIL, but what they do is they give you your room and board if you live off campus, and they give you a little bit extra to give you basically per month how much it costs to live in that area. So it varies by city, this, that, and the third. But that's what cost of living is. And you only get it if you live off campus, right?
No, we were getting it. We got less, but even if you lived on campus, you got.
Oh, really? Yeah. So we started ours late. because my freshman year in the dorms, we got nothing. So like if you redshirted, and so this is like stuff people don't talk about, but like if you redshirt your first year there and you don't travel the team or anything like that, it's a rough life because like you're doing with this gun club, which is like they have the red shirts come in early in the mornings during the week in the season, do all these like crazy workouts. They're trying to break you, and then you're on scout team, and then so you're working out 3 times a day. You got the gun club, then you got weights, and then you have practice, and then you still got to watch film. So it's really a lot of workload. And then if it's an away game, so yes, we get to eat at the MATC, which is the Missouri Athletic Training Complex. But that training complex is basically the football's training complex because the football team pays for all the amenities that we have as athletes, pretty much. And so when and this is at the time, it's obviously completely different now. But when the football team had an away game, that weekend Dynamo's closed, and you're not getting any check from the football pro. You're not getting any cost of living or cost of attendance or whatever. So you're on your own that weekend. If you ain't got no money, I remember like me and Tavon, my roommate, we were scrapping together dollars and coins to go get Taco Bell because at the time they had 99 cents off Taco Bell. I remember one night I was starving. I had no money. I remember I went to one of their like late night like gas station like convenience stores. You swipe because we would get a certain amount of swipes per semester. I had Pop-Tarts for dinner that night. Pop-Tarts and a bag of popcorn on a Saturday night because it was an away game. Like the struggle was real, man. At back then.
I bet. So like when they had the red shirts, did they like travel any red shirts?
So you get if you were on scholarship, you got to travel to one away game. And so for like me and like Paul and Thomas Richard or like Corey Fatoni, people from Nashville, they let us either travel for the UT game. For my Texas people, when I say UT, I mean University of Tennessee, because where I'm from, we say University of Tennessee. So we traveled to the Tennessee game, or they let us travel to the Vanderbilt game. So I got to travel to the Vanderbilt game one year, and then the Tennessee game the next year, because I'm from Nashville. So family gets a chance to see you, whatever. You know you're not gonna play, but outside of that, you don't travel, or you travel to the closest game to your family. Is how they try to set it up,
bro. Like, so like how we did it is that the red shirts, I guess it didn't matter if you're on scholarship or not. But essentially, the scout team players of the week would travel. Oh,
that's dope.
So whoever did best on scout team would travel, bro.
So, hey, people's out there going hard, huh?
Go hard.
Because were y'all pregame meals that night before? That's what you do it for.
Steaks.
That's what you do it for.
Yeah,
that's all I would be doing.
There was one year a dude was was on the travel team like 3-4 weeks in a row. Because he was just balling on.
He had that first meal. Was like, I need this every week. And the hotels are nice. Sleeping good.
They would do it that way, but at the same time, like they still would take into account if like we're going to FAU, FIU, and we have people from Miami or
Florida.
They would like mess with some people. Like, all right, like we gonna let you go to the game, like travel. But like the coach, like before that week of practice, he's like, bro, you gotta go crazy on scout team. Like he be trying to boost them up. Like I don't want to show that. I'm just giving it to you.
You're gonna get it anyway to let them know like you gotta work for it.
Yeah, you gotta work for it. Like so, go hard this week, but we want you to travel. Yeah. So yeah, that's how we did it. But I mean, we still got a little money on the side, but I don't think you started late because your freshman year, I was still in high school. So my freshman year would have been like what? Your redshirt
junior year.
Yeah, something like that. And you were probably getting it by then.
No, yeah. I'm just saying my first year I didn't get it. I think it was the next year we got it.
Yeah.
Because no. It was your freshman year had to been the first year because the year I moved off campus, it was lower. So the year I moved off campus, they gave us room and board, which they just gave us a room and board. And then that next year it went up to like $1,800 a month. It went from $1,500, it went from $1,400 a month. It was just our room and board. So they give you a room and board, and you just had to live somewhere cheaper, and then you got the cop the difference. You just have to finesse it. So you were trying to live with, like my first year off out of the dorms, I lived with 3 dudes. Like we had a townhome, and we just split the shit into 4. So I think we weren't, and in Columbia, Missouri, it's not a high cost of living place. So like, I think our rent was like $400 or $500, and so you're copping $1,000, but $1,000 got to last you the month. So you're budgeting. But you can't go crazy because if your rent's $1,300 and you get that you only got $100 for the month, which is. And then the next year went from $1,400 to $1,800 because they started giving us a cost of attendance, So they gave us an extra $400 because they were like, okay, with room and board plus what it costs to live, $1,800 is about what you need a month to like live in Columbia.
Yeah.
At the time.
So
I don't know what it is now, but
he essentially did that for us.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this coach seems like, I mean, before that contract extension, he was with MTSU for like dang near 12 years.
So you know he was a guy that's like loyal. He is staying.
His son was the quarterback.
Yeah.
So I was like,
he ain't going nowhere.
He ain't going nowhere. And he ain't going nowhere. He seems like he really cares about the program, really cares about his players. So I was like, I would just be stupid not to be with this
coach.
Have a coach that will invest in me, will be there most likely the entire time, and also MTSU was a good program. I mean, when I went there, they went to a bowl game like five out of the last 6 years.
Yeah.
And then they had, when we think of the NFL, like they had Kevin Byard.
Yeah.
Who his senior year is when I was coming in, so I didn't like play with him, but like they were putting guys in the NFL.
Yeah.
They had guys projected in the future to be in the NFL. So I was like, it's still good exposure. Coach is good, school's good, it's close to home. Like I really found zero negatives at the end.
And good academics too.
Yeah, good academics.
They're a very good academic school.
And so yeah, that's kind of how I came to Blue Raiders. So yeah.
Now, I don't know how much more you want to talk about your college football because there's stuff I want to get to like after college. But do you want to touch on like your whole experience in the transfer portal stuff?
Yeah, I could talk my experience in the transfer portal.
Because context, the transfer portal when you went in is not what it is now. This is pre-NIL. This is pre-open, basically open board.
It was a year before. It was a year before NIL.
Yeah.
Was like official. So yeah, I would say the transfer portal. Yeah. So my graduate year, I transferred out of MTSU mostly because I was there for 5 years. I had the same DB coach for like 3, but I had a major like knee injury, so I had surgery, and so I ended up sitting out a year. But the guy who replaced me, in my starting spot when I got my knee surgery, he had an all-conference year, almost had an all-American year.
Mm.
So essentially my coach was just kind of like, look, like, we think it would be best if you retire, but like you could be a GA or something like that. Like you could still be a part of the football program, but like essentially we're going to go with this guy moving forward. Because he was younger than me. I mean, he was talented, really good guy. So I was like, at the time, I still had my NFL hopes, dreams, because before I got injured, I was having like a really good year. I was having a really good run. I was performing really well, so I was like, and potentially if I could stack a whole season like that, I could be an all-conference player.
Yeah.
And get a shot at the NFL. So I was like, I'm gonna bet on myself, and my last year entered the transfer portal just to see at other places, maybe have another coach that will believe in me and buy into me and put me in a good situation where I could do well. So yeah, I hit the transfer portal. I think I had about 5 offers, but they were all FCS. So I did have interest in some FBS schools. I had like Iowa State and Ball State that were really interested, but they went in different directions. Iowa State went with a different guy, and then Ball State went with a different guy. And then, so then I really have to be like, okay, I'm really going to go FCS, but, you could still perform the FCS level, get a shot at the NFL, but it just really depends on what program you go to. You really want to go to a pretty good FCS program.
Mm-hmm.
So Central Arkansas was one of those programs, and, they historically have done well as a program. I mean, they have a guy right now that's going to get drafted, defensive end from Central Arkansas. So they put out guys to the NFL. Also, I think like they had a cornerback the year I transferred to them. The year prior, he went like 3rd round to the LA Rams. So like they're good FCS program to go to NFL. So I said, okay, that's going to be my number one choice. But so I ended up going there. And then a week while I moved there, a week into being there, the coach that recruited me and was like, essentially, you're going to play nickel, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to play nickel. I wanted to make sure, and he's like, we're gonna have you in these packages. We're gonna really like mold the secondary around you. He ends up leaving, going to Eastern Carolina to play ball, and then they bring in the DB coach, and then it wasn't good from there on out because
he had his favorites.
Yeah,
I know how it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so you finish at Central Arkansas, and I believe you go back to MTSU to finish your MBA.
Yeah. So I.
What'd you major in your undergrad?
Business administration.
Business administration. So then, makes sense to get your MBA. Why'd you choose that degree field?
Well, going into at MTSU, I told the academic advisors on my official visit, and I was telling people I wanted to do biochemistry because I wanted to be a pharmacist. But when I said biochemistry, they looked at me crazy because they were like, "You sure you want to do that?" I was like, "Yeah." So that's what I was my first semester, and then like I kind of got into that field and like I wasn't feeling it. I was just like, "Nah, this is not really. I'm not really interested in this. It's not really what I wanted to do." So I switched majors to business administration just because I knew I wanted to be in business,
right?
In some degree, and it's kind of a general.
Yeah, you can use that just about anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what I wanted to specialize in, but I was like, I'll just be a business administration until I feel some type of way, one or the other, where I wanted to go marketing, where I wanted to do finance, accounting. So I wanted to try everything until I kind of decided.
Right.
So I kind of just was learning about everything, and I was just like, I'm gonna keep business administration because it touches on everything, and I want to learn about every single field. So I got that degree, and then I graduated early. I graduated in like 3.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I had a year because I was still playing ball at MTSU. So I was like, yeah, I might as well go for my master's. So by the time I transferred to Central Arkansas, I only had 1 semester left until I graduated. So I was like, I'm just gonna go back to MTSU and finish my last semester. Again, Coach Stockstill, stand-up guy, really great guy. Like, to finish my last semester, like, they paid for it. Like,
shout out Coach Stockstill.
Shout out Coach Stockstill, man.
No, that's dope because he didn't have to.
Exactly.
He didn't have to, but yeah. That's a coach you want to play for.
Exactly, and that's also an interesting story because it was about it's just a story about how I was denied from the grad program, but then I got in.
Wait, I didn't hear about this.
Yeah, so I was in the Jones Business College at MTSU. I graduated with honors. Like I'm talking about, I graduated with like a 3.93 GPA, and then I took what's the grad test you take?
GRE.
Yeah, I took the GRE. I mean, my score was like maybe a little bit below average, maybe average.
Mine was
but
below, like a little bit below average.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, like I understand I didn't get the best GRE score, but like I'm going to the grad program that's in the same business college, and I just graduated their undergrad with 3.93.
Right, and
so
with honors, yeah.
Yeah, with honors. And so I'm like, okay, I might not have the best GRE, but that won't matter because my GPA is going to
they should take all of it into account.
They're going to take all of it into account. So I applied, and I got denied, and I was like, what? Ain't no way I just got denied. So I ended up, I talked to Coach Stockstill. I talked to some people I knew around like the school, professors I knew around the school and connected with and networked with. And I was just like, I got denied. And so like they were all just put in word for me, which is like, this guy should not be denied. It's like absurd that he's getting denied from the school or from the graduate program.
Right.
It's one of the best students like we've had. And so then they reversed it and they let me in. But I was like, I had to do all that just to get. And so like that, but that lit like a fire under me in grad school because I was like,
they don't think you belong here.
Yeah, they don't think I belong here. So like I was just like, I'm gonna prove them wrong. And like I graduated. I think I had like a 3. I literally had like a 3.98. Like I got all straight A's in grad school, and I got like a B, like barely. Like I got like an 89 in one class, and I was like, Dude, I was mad. I was like, I'm gonna graduate with the highest honors you could possibly get in grad school in this college, and I did. And I was like,
dang.
Yeah, I was messed up.
I don't remember. Actually, I think I might remember you telling me about that, but no, that's wild. That is wild.
Dude, long nights, it'd be like 10, and there'd be tests. People like, oh, I'm going out partying, like, I'm gonna go out and do this. I was like, bro, I'm going to the library, bro. Like, it was just always in the back of my mind, like, bro, I was just mad. Like, It was just my motivation for every single, like, late library night, like, project, everything.
Oh, yeah. So when you get your MBA, what are you thinking at that point? Like, in terms of job market?
Well, I already had a job in grad school. Like, my last semester, when I went back home, there's an opportunity for me. There's an opportunity for me to get a job in HR. And so I was always interested in HR. Actually, if you look up like business administration, a lot of people that have that degree go into HR. So I was like, I know about it. Did my research. Actually, my degree applies to getting this type of job.
Right.
So there's an opportunity that came by, and I was like, it was a contractor though, and it was more like an internship. But I was in HR, but like the person I interviewed with said like they're gonna expose me to all avenues of the business, like,
right.
Because when I interviewed with them, I was like, I don't know if HR is gonna be a career for me, but like I'll help you out administratively, but like I would like to be exposed to like different departments to see where I really want to go, because right now I'm in school, and it was a part-time gig too. So I was doing that, and so I already kind of had a job. So when I graduated, I just kind of was like.
And that was the same one that you're in now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I do remember that. I just wasn't sure the timing of it. And so tell me, so where are you at now with it? Like, tell the people, like, because obviously I kind of know the story, like, you started bottom, now you're here type shit.
Yeah. So I contracted for like 6 months, and then the person who was ahead of me. Okay, now. So the person.
I was making sure it's still running. Do you want water?
Yeah, I'll take some water. But essentially, the person that was ahead of me, they left the company, so that position got open. So I just applied for it, got it, and I've just been working that ever since. You know, I've been doing good. I think I've been doing good. That's what people tell me. But I've just been doing that ever since. I enjoy it. Really great company I work for. Really great people, and learned a lot. And I'm just continuing to grow. And I'm looking forward to what God has in my journey moving forward.
Now, #1 jogger right there. Now, I always ask kind of these type of questions, but what is fitness? Let's just start there. Well, first of all, I gotta talk about this. Out of the kin, you're the first one that's married.
Yes.
Tell me about how, where you met. You think it's fine if I mention all that?
Yeah, you can mention.
Would she be okay with it?
Yeah, she'll be okay.
All right, shout out to my sister-in-law, Julie. Tell like where you met her, like how it kind of arose, and like when did you know?
Okay.
Stuff like that.
So dating by Kylan Stribling.
Get your pen and papers, take notes.
So I met my wife in my retro junior year. So academically, I was like a senior. And so, I think it was like a semester before I graduated. But essentially, I was her Lyft driver. So I would say if you pick up women, be a Lyft driver. But I was like, don't do that. Don't do that. That's not good advice. That's not good advice. But unless you're just smooth like me. But no, I'm just playing. So we had mutual friends. So through a mutual friend, we knew each other via social media before I was her Lyft driver. That was just the first time we actually were in person,
Yeah.
saw each other. So, and I think she worked on campus too. So I think I've seen her. Like I've seen her a couple times in person, but didn't really have a conversation. I just saw her working. And so, yeah, I was just like talking to her, just kind of like, how are you doing? Being super nice and stuff like that. And then eventually got her like Snapchat. I don't even have Snapchat anymore, but like,
Yeah.
like just had a Snapchat, just was like snapping her every now and then. But then I think we finally, the mutual friend was kind of like, yeah, you should just hang out with Kylan. She kind of linked us both up and we just started hanging out. Yeah, that was that. Then COVID hit and then we became best friends. So yeah, we did that, dated for a couple years, 3 years, and then proposed to her on my birthday. Got married.
Oh, that's right. It was on your birthday.
It was on my birthday.
So now, when did you know like this is the person I want to marry?
How I knew it was the person I wanted to marry, I would say just like, when you have your challenges in life, just like the way she supported me in any challenge I had. Like she was there when I had my knee surgery, when my career wasn't doing good, when I had the disappointments at Central Arkansas and had got denied out of grad school,
Yeah.
Like through the trials and tribulations, the ups and downs of life, she's always been there and supported me and been loving. So like that's just a good testament for me, and that's a good testament for anybody. Always have somebody that is a writer and is willing to stick by your side at your lowest points and your highest points. Not just your highest points, but your lowest points in life. And that's how I really knew she was one.
And then y'all's anniversary wasn't that long ago, right?
Yeah, it was in March. We went to Atlanta. So we went to the aquarium, saw the dolphin show. That was the first time I've ever been.
They have dolphins in Atlanta?
They have dolphins in Atlanta.
Interesting.
Yeah. We avoided the splash zone because I wasn't having it. But some people didn't know they were in the splash zone, and it was funny. They would just like try to get out their seats and start sprinting, and I was like, all the attendants were like, stay in your seat. They did not care what that attendant was saying, but I almost ran her over. And but it was fun. We did that. We went to a restaurant called Saints and something like Saints and something. But it was a really nice fancy restaurant. So if you type in Saints Atlanta, you should be able to find it. It's really nice. Take your significant other, your partner, to there. They will enjoy. We'll have a good night. Also, we went to the mall. We did not go to the what's the downtown mall? Lenox.
I think so.
Yeah, we didn't go to the Lenox Mall. We went to the Perimeter Mall. I recommend that over the Lenox Mall. Actually, it's a really nice mall. And then we went to Flying Biscuit. That is a good place if you like breakfast brunch spot. Really nice. Flying Biscuit. Try their biscuits. They're fire. So, yeah.
There we go. And then 1 second. I'll edit this out. I just gotta double check that I started it. Boy, I'm at that age. I'll be forgetting to start shit. Oh shit. I'll edit all this down. All right. Well, do you have any? What are some short term, like, okay, where do you see yourself in 5 years, career wise and just like life in general?
I mean, I'm enjoying life right now. Life is going good. In 5 years, I don't know. I just feel like I'm in a point in life where it's just kind of like where God takes me, and the direction is not like I'm, not really super rooted into my career. Like I'm at an age where I can essentially take risks, change stuff up. Like if I want to just go into a completely new career, I could do that and that'd be fine because just kind of where I'm at in life. But so I really don't know. I mean, it's whatever God plans for me, really.
You got
and I'm liking what He's got for me right now.
Do you have any short term goals, like goals you have for like the year?
The year, yes. I want to run in the turkey trot and like place like at least top 20 in the turkey trot this year. So I had a little setback. I ended up spraining my knee this year. Give you a funny story about that.
What happened?
So I play in like the past 2 years I played flag football. I think I'm gonna be like in the flag football Olympics. And so I was playing flag football and I like sprained my knee, but that set me back like 6 weeks, and then now I've fully recovered. But every year in Jackson, Tennessee, so if you want to catch me at the turkey trot in Jackson, Tennessee, you can go to Jackson, Tennessee, you can see me running the turkey trot. But my wife's family, their whole family like runs in this turkey trot for Thanksgiving, and I always go, and I'm like there for moral support, and I never run.
Yeah.
And so I was like, next year I'm gonna run in the turkey trot. So it's about 3 miles you run, and you actually give out like trophies and awards and all this other stuff, but by your age grouping. So I just want to place like top 20 in my age group. So I've been running like, I probably run like 7 miles a week.
How do you
7 to 5 miles a week.
How do you break it, like over how many days?
Oh, like 7 days. So like probably a mile a day.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I do that, and I'm just trying to shave down my mile time. And right now I'm really just focusing on getting really fast at running a mile. Then in the summer, I really want to kind of focus on endurance.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably be running like 2-3 miles at once. And then in the fall, I'll want to kind of get back on the speed of things. And then I'll kind of work on endurance and maintaining until
like a mix of like one day go for speed and then one day maybe do like a 3 miler.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so is there anything else fitness wise? And that's on Thanksgiving, right? On the day of Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Is it early in the morning? I see?
Yeah, super early in the morning.
And then any other goals you have for yourself, like fitness wise? So are you only running? You're not lifting weights?
No, I'm lifting weights. I'm lifting weights and running. But fitness wise, I just want to kind of get back building strength. At one point I was really strong, and then I stopped. But now
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember you were telling me you were starting to push some serious weight.
Yeah. Like I was hitting like 315, like twice. And it's kind of difficult. And you know the transition, but like going from a transition of working out with a team to working out by yourself is a huge difference. And then you're getting older as well, so recovery's longer. Building strength is harder.
You have to actually warm up.
Yeah. So when I started seeing myself, and then at the time how my work schedule was, it was insane.
Once you get in real life, you gotta work. You have a job on top of all that. Yeah.
So at that time in my life, I was like, working out is not a ginormous priority. Yeah, like secondary. And then as like I tried to get back into it, have a little bit better work-life balance, I got back into working out. And it wasn't like I completely eliminated. It was just went from I'm working out 5 times a week to I'm working out 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
So So yeah, I mean, I think just getting back into it, making it a regular thing, try to work out like 5 times a week, continue to just get stronger little by little. That's the one thing that's kind of fun about like working out now in life is like, it's not like I'm like trying to achieve something from a competitive standpoint. It's like, you can do something that makes you feel good. You can do what you want. You can, and like, it's no like real big pressure on myself.
There's not like a strength coach that's we gotta get you squat 450 right now.
Your only motivation is yourself. And so like, as long as I just gradually keep getting stronger, I'm fine with that. I don't have to like try to gain 60 pounds on my bench in like 3 months. So
I do think that's a double-edged sword, because I think from my lens of training people, I think the biggest hindrance for a lot of people I've noticed being in the industry so long is the fact that their motivation is on them. Like in football, if you just show up to where you're supposed to be, you're gonna get stronger by default. Like even if you do the bare minimum, you're still working out 5 days a week, you're doing your drills, like you're gonna get better. Now, you're gonna get better than somebody trying to take your spot if they're doing extra work. No, but base level, you're forced to be put in a position to get better physically and from like a position set. When you don't have that pressure on you, that's when people like, I don't feel like it this today. One day turns into 2 days, 2 days turns into a week turns into 3 weeks. So it can be definitely a double-edged sword.
It can snowball for sure. Like you mean, I feel like everybody has spurts of like demotivation away from the gym. Like everybody's gone on like a binge of like not working out for 2 weeks. Well, not you, but yeah, I'm saying it's everybody. Like most people.
I think the most I've ever gone without working out is a week, ever in my entire life.
I would say most average people can go like a spurt of like 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, I get it. I was actually talking to somebody the other day where I was saying my perspective on fitness is I don't want to say skewed, but my perspective on fitness is such a different perspective because in the grand spectrum of fitness, I'm kind of on the hardcore gym rat side where like 5 days a week is
never worked out. Your absence away from working out has only been a week your entire life. You are 100%.
So like 5 days a week to some people is like sounds crazy. That's standard. If I'm not working out 5 days a week, I feel bad about myself. Like my rest days are Saturday, Sunday. Sunday night, the only thing I'm thinking about is when I get my ass in the gym Monday because I cannot. Like I'm addicted. If I go 3 days, like, and when I do go a week without working out, and the first I've gone without lifting weights is a week. If I go a week without lifting weights, there is a work, whether it's basketball, there's some type of physical activity that's being had. I just may not be lifting weights in terms of like squatting, benching, deadlifting. Like when I went home, I did work out one day and I played basketball 2-3 days out of the week. So it's still cardio. So my viewpoint is skewed because I talk to people and I'm like, well, what, they're talking about, they're trying to lose weight, this, that, third, whatever it is. And I'm like, well, what are you like, are you working out? Yeah, I go on walks 3 days a week. In my head, if walking is your workout, you're on the wrong side of the fence. Now, I understand my viewpoint's skewed because I'm used to, like for me, walking 5 miles is not a workout. If I walk 5 miles, I still gotta get my lifting. But in my mind, it's like, if you're at the shape to where that is what's gonna help you lose weight, you're on the wrong side of the fence. But I do understand it's skewed because at the same time, doing 30 minutes of walking 3 days a week is better than nothing. I do understand that. But in my head, it's like, yo, you need, especially, people trying to lose weight in a fixed amount of time. It's like walking's not enough. Walking's not going to get you in shape. If you're trying to like, I know people that, yeah, I'm trying to go to the beach in June or July. And, it's almost April. So you got April, May, June, you got 3 months. You're going to lose 60 pounds in 3 months walking? No, you're not. But yeah, there's
a lot of walking, maybe.
Yeah, it'd be
a ton of walking.
Like hours of walking.
Yeah, I mean, it's just different. I mean, I feel like I would answer that differently or talk about that differently if I was overweight or I was deficient physically. But I mean, as a person who, I haven't, I'm not really working on my bench like that.
Yeah.
And what I hit like 255, 245. Like
somewhere around there.
Yeah, so I was hitting like 255, 245. I mean, I'm 185 pounds. Like 6 foot, 185 pounds. I can run a really fast mile. I'm pushing like 255 on bench. If we were to do squat, I'd probably hit somewhere around like 350 on squat. Like, I'm healthy.
Yeah,
like
you're in there.
I'm good.
Yeah, you're getting like the best of both worlds with.
Yeah, and so like also from an aesthetic standpoint, like I don't think that like I'm deficient, really super deficient from an aesthetic standpoint. So, because I know some people that might be in the good way or might be performing athletically, but let's say aesthetically they want bigger shoulders or bigger legs and stuff like that. Like aesthetically, I'm comfortable where I'm at. So it's like, that's what it's hard for me sometimes of like having that motivation to be like, all right, like I'm going to go and work out every single day or sometimes I would say all my times where I'm not motivated, those have been kind of the reasons, is because I'm fine,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Type
Because
of
you're essentially, aside from the turkey trot, you just need to maintain. You're not
Yeah,
trying
exactly.
to break records, you know.
Exactly.
Versus, you know, somebody like me where every year, there's a whiteboard over there. Every year, once I PR, there's another goal set. I have a year to hit that number. So in my head, I'm like, I can't miss, because even though missing one day is not, and every now and like when it's holiday or something like things like that, I might, you know, miss a day or whatever. But like in the back of my head, I have a year, and then really less than that because I train in seasons. So like once I get done with max bench, I go to 225, and after that I train for squat and deadlift. When I'm training for squat and deadlift, I'm not going to do much improvement on my bench. I'm just focused on maintaining. So really I have, for max bench training, I have from January to May. I have 5 months to beat my PR from last year. So like I kind of set up this pressure. I think what I did is I set up this pressure on myself. So I have to hit these numbers, because there's times I come in and I'll come in on a week or whatever. I actually haven't had that this year at all. I've actually progressed like way better than I thought. But some years I'll have a couple weeks, rough weeks, where I'm like, weight I normally hit, I'm like, it's feeling kind of heavy. I'm not feeling right. Is it my recovery? Is it my sleep? And I start to have this like panic mode of like, I don't think I'm gonna hit it. And I set this pressure because there's only been a handful of times I've not PR'd. Most of it is like one time I didn't PR on deadlift because I ended up pulling something in my lat from deadlifting. And then there's been times where I messed up I like tweaked my knee playing basketball, like right close to squat day. And then like I tore my I sprained my tricep once doing pull-ups, so like it messed up my bench. So, but for me, I set up so much pressure. If I don't PR, you'd think I've lost the Super Bowl. Like I take it so seriously, but I think that's what I have to do in my head to keep myself consistent. Because it's like, if you miss a week or two, whatever, that you're gonna do. I disappoint myself if I don't PR. My goal is to at least match, or PR. If I don't, I'm literally sitting there like watching film. I'm like, what did I do wrong? Maybe I didn't have enough protein in my program this year, or maybe instead of focusing on this, instead of focusing on shoulders, maybe I should do more triceps. Or like I literally sit and contemplate. So the next year, I'll make sure I kind of like that. I think that's what I have to do for myself to become more consistent, is I put this pressure on me. And just being addicted just makes it easier, because Monday's my favorite day of the week. I can't wait till I get in the gym, because I've had 2 days off.
When I was, I mean, at the same time, like I can always move to San Antonio and we just get swole together.
Dude, bro, I
gotta run that by.
Bro, I will have you like pushing weight you've never pushed before, bro.
You're going crazy.
Bro, it's but it's just fun though. It's just fun,
Yeah.
for me at least, because I'm trying to hit 405 on bench. That's been a goal I've had for 3 years. My PR last year was 360. I think this year I should get close. I think realistically, right now I'd probably at 380, but I still have a month and a half left of training. So by the end of April, I should be repping my PR last year for sets of 2. I should be like 350, 360 for sets of 2. So I should get close. And then my 600 for squat and deadlift have been evading me for the past 2 years. I PR'd last year by 5 pounds on my squat, 575. I matched my PR on deadlift, but that's because I switched my stance. I used to do sumo over, and then I went from traditional over, so I completely switched my stance and switched my form. So you kind of have to retrain your body when you switch your form and stuff. So my goal then was just to match, and I did. So I'm happy with that. So now I should at least PR in the deadlift. So I'm going for like maybe 5. The goal is 600, but realistically maybe 580, 585. But
That's crazy.
we will see. So you talked about work-life balance.
Yeah.
How is your work-life balance? Like, what are hobbies what do you have that you do to get away? Friends. I don't know if you still keep in touch with people from high school. Like, what how the guys, when guys get married, like, that's it. You might as well say bye to them. You'll never like. How is
You're dead to me now.
Yeah, like, the whole thing with gaming. It's like, your boys getting married. It's like, oh, farewell. It's been an honor gaming, because you know how the stigma is with the boys. What is your work-life balance? Are you able to still do some of the things you like to do. I'm not even necessarily saying about marriage, but just, you know, you're in your career, you know, you are married, you have responsibilities, this, that, and the third. Like we're you know, we're adulting. This, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I still keep up. I think me and the boys, we're gonna be looking to do some pretty cool this year. Plan to go to the weekend Playboy Cardi concert in
Where is that?
Nissan Stadium.
Oh, that's it is
in August. So I think we're probably gonna start setting that up, start talking about it, and getting plans set up. So that should be pretty fun week. But I would say things I like to do for fun. I mean, video games is one. Marvel Rivals is a really big one right now. It's kind of weird because I kind of want to get off of it because I've gotten too toxic. Like I start getting so mad, and it's just not good for my mental health right now.
Well, it's because you don't get on with us.
Yes, but at the same time, bro, I'm about to be like Grandmaster, and like when you get to that point, it's not fun anymore. It's just straight up like
Stress,
anxiety, anxiousness, like anger.
Nobody's communicating. Nobody's on mics.
No, I mean everybody is coordinating. Everybody's going crazy. Everybody's doing.
You're
their
just
best.
going against dogs.
You're just sweating the whole time. Like you're just like over here like eyes you haven't blinked. Like you're like one time I had my headset on. I literally like moved my headset off and was hearing my controller like. Like that's how I knew I was going crazy. I said, "Bro, I'm moving in like I'm making so much noise with just my controller." Like, bro. So yeah, I'm taking a break. I think I might just like play college football for a little bit. That's just kind of my feel good. That or Gran Turismo. It's kind of my good like turn my brain off, just kind of play. Have a good time.
That's a GTA for me.
Yeah, just have a good time.
Sell some meth. Sell some cocaine.
Sell some drugs. Spam.
Rob a bank.
Yeah. Just do a money glitch real quick. And put some music on and vibe out. Yeah, no. So that's what I like doing. I also like right now I'm kind of on my reading kick. My brother-in-law, he like gives me manga. He like collects a bunch of manga from a bunch of different series. So he lets me borrow some of his books. So right now I'm reading a manga called Claymore. Check it out. Claymore is a really good manga. You should watch it.
Are they gonna make an anime on it?
They already made an anime on it. It's a really old one. I do not recommend the anime.
Oh, it doesn't age well.
It doesn't age well, and I just think the manga's way better than the anime. But I'm doing that. So I am. I would say reading that. I'm starting to try to get back into drawing, and I'm debating if I want to get back into making music. I don't have anything published. I don't have anything out.
No, when you were making music, those beats, I'm not gonna fake it. I thought those beats were lit.
I gotta show you something. I think I made some recently. I haven't showed you. But I like like just making music. I have to put this disclaimer because people gonna really think like I'm out here like singing like Trey songs or something. Yeah, but no, I just do it for fun. Just a release of expression of art, release of your thoughts. Is just I like it. I mean, I really think it's a cool to just express yourself. So that's really what I do. So when you get married, here's advice number one, and this is really advice in adulting for any of our younger viewers, maybe in a time in their lives where they're getting out of college. It's a very awkward time in your life and things are going to be different. The number one thing you need to understand is making friends, maintaining friends is effort. Usually your whole entire life. The people that you've had in your life have always been relatively in the same area as you by proxy, and it's been mandatory. So whether these people are in high school, they're in your math class. They're always going to be in your math class. You're always going to have to see them every day. So, you might as well get along with each other. In college, it's a little bit different, but you have different events, different clubs. You still have classes with these people as well. If you're in a fraternity, sorority, you're going to be surrounded by these people. Football team, athletics. There's a lot of avenues in cliques in college or groups in college you're going to be a part of that you're going to be exposed to people. But when you get out in the real life, let's say you're Kylan, went to MTSU, right? And I moved to San Antonio, Texas. Guess how many people I'm going to know? I'm going to know 0 people.
One.
Well, I'm going to know you, yes. I'm going to know some people I've already met while being down here. But I'm saying is like,
Yeah.
I'm saying is like, you're going to have to start, and your friends that you have that are moved on and doing their thing somewhere else, you're going to have to maintain those by reaching out to them, talking with them, catching up. Also, if you want to make new friends, you're going to have to extend yourself and put yourself out there to make those friends, and then have to do things to keep them as friends. So it's effort is all I'm really trying to say. And so I just recommend a really good thing to stay in touch with the boys. I think video games is a good one. I mean, if you have, let's say, a partner, significant other, hopefully, that is understanding of you playing video games, and you have that, and you can reach out to them playing video games. One is, I like to try to do like once a year, do a boys trip or boys event type of thing, where you just kind of hit everybody in a group chat and say, hey, we're gonna go to a concert, we're gonna go to this city, we're gonna go and do rock climbing, or we're gonna go skiing. You kind of just plan something out, and the best thing to do is put some time, maybe I would say at least 6 months, where, everybody, has work, has to take off of work. Everybody has different lives at different places in their lives, but give enough time to plan it out, to save for it, to budget it out, and just go and reconnect with your friends for a long weekend. Just, it doesn't have to be a whole week deal. You could do a whole week deal if you want to, but it could just be a Thursday, Friday, Saturday type deal. And you just reconnect, and that's just a cool way you can always stay in touch with your old friends. Yeah,
because the gaming one for sure, because I know me and Grant, I've seen Grant once. So Grant, I played football with. Grant.
Oh yeah.
I played football with. We were in the same class, same freshman class. I played football. So when we graduated 2018, I've seen him once since 2018, and that's because I had a conference in Pasadena, California. He drove up because he lives in San Diego, San Diego. He lives in San Diego, so he drove up to see me. But outside of that, I haven't seen him. But you're in the gaming group chat every Thursday, Friday night, and I'm getting on the game. So, I game with him. I talk to him literally every week. We get on the game, we talk about life, bullshit, group message. We just send funny stuff back and forth. And then I also wanted to piggyback on what you're saying about when you move somewhere. Like when I moved to Missouri, I didn't know a soul. The only person I knew was Coach Grinch, because he recruited me. But I didn't know anybody that I could hang out with. And so, like you said, I made some of the closest friends I have to this day. My roommate, I will forever call him my roommate, because he was my roommate my entire career at Mizzou. Me and Grant were roommates at one point, and then we ended up living some different places. But Tavon's roommate, I was roommates with Tavon freshman year all the way to when we all graduated. So I will forever call my roommate. Shout out Tavon. But yeah, some of my closest friends I have to this day, I'm football, by proxy. We're in gun club together. We're freshmen struggling together, highs and lows together. And then we still have a group message to this day where we talk shit and argue with each other and get mad. And then the next day it's nothing happens, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, you definitely got to extend yourself, and it's effort. I moved out again. I moved out here. I didn't know nobody. Shout out my buddy Xavier. He's the first person I met. We had this kind of what do they call it? Kind of like an orientation, sort of, where all the incoming grad students came in the first day, and we introduced. I saw him sitting there and sat next to him, and rest is history. I try to go see him. I was in Houston, January. My way back, I said, I try to go see him as much as I can. That's my dog. But like you said, it was kind of started by proxy, and then to this day we still keep in touch. And he's in the gaming group, man, so I game with him as well. Yeah, I think to kind of segue a little bit, but still kind of on topic, I think for one of the big things I'm doing right now, and that I've kind of been doing since college, but I make a huge effort now, is I want to network my ass off, because you don't know who you're meeting. You meet people at certain stages in their life, and 10 years down the road, they could be running a company. They could have their own company where they're super successful. They could be in an industry you're trying to get into, or they could own something that you want to partner with. You never know who you're meeting. So that's one reason why I try to treat everybody with respect, and I try to at least get to know them. Some people you might not vibe with them personality wise, that's cool. But like, I'm meeting all these people, and I think one reason why I want to start this podcast is get to know people, their story. So like, my good friend Faith, I met her at Shoe Palace, again by proxy, but we're pretty close. We do D&D. She doesn't work at Shoe Palace no more, but we have D&D once a month, and she's a part of the D&D group. And I try to have her on the pod. She's been on Uncle Strib a handful of times. I actually have her scheduled in a couple pods, or I think it's next Tuesday. But she's a criminal justice major. So like, okay, bet I want to, when I get 20 years down the road, I want to have all these successful people in my phone. Not for like any type of like using them or anything, but like, if I need help with something, I know I can call somebody that's, in law enforcement, or is a detective, or is an investigator. I could call somebody like one of my guys that I work with, that I hoop with now, Ethan. He was at Shoe Palace, or he is at Shoe Palace. We hoop together. He's a coach at one of the universities here, and he just got a position to be an assistant coach at a small university out here. Mm-hmm. So 10 years down the line, he might be the head coach to Oregon or Alabama, or you never know. Mm-hmm. But I got somebody on my phone to where if I'm trying to help somebody out, I go, hey yo, Ethan, and Ethan's also been on the pod. Hey yo, Ethan, I got a guy you might want to check out. Like, I just love being able to reach out and either hook them up. I'm the type of person where I've had the same number since I got my first phone in middle school. I never want to change that number, because whenever I'm about to part ways with somebody, where they're leaving or getting a new job, you always have my number. If there's anything I can do to help, reach out. I have people I haven't talked to in months that hit me up on Instagram. Hey, I'm trying to lose weight, this, that, third. I got you. I just love connecting. I love being able to help people. And if I'm in positions of need, I have people I can at least reach out to potentially get help. I think that's one of the most powerful things you can have becoming an adult, is just having good relationships with good people and successful people. Now that I think about it, a lot of the friends that I've had, I feel like I don't become good friends with people. This is gonna kind of sound bad on the surface, but I feel like I don't become good friends with people I don't think will be successful. Like, judgment of character is the number one thing for me about really, really consider you a friend. I don't use the word friend lightly. If we're not friends, like I don't just say you're a friend if we're an acquaintance. I'll just say we're acquaintances, we're co-workers. But if I view you as a friend, it's somebody that I can see they work hard, or there's something to them where I think they have the potential to be successful, or they have potential to just be a good person. Those are the type of people I want on my phone. Those are the type of people I want to surround myself with. Those are the type of people I want to have on the pod and ask them about, like, what motivates you? Like, I ask that all the time, like, what motivates you? Like, why do you get up every morning? This, that, and the third. I love picking their brain, because one, I can learn something from them. Hopefully they can learn something from me. And it's all about supporting each other to elevate to the next level. That's like what's really big for me right now, is networking. Yeah, I love just connections. Because sometimes it's about who you know, not what you know. You got denied from grad school. You had numbers in your phone, you could call to get this shit figured out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I sure did.
Like, it's very similar. I'm not gonna fake it. At Missouri, you talked about you wanted to be a biochemical engineer or whatever, and they gave you that funny look. Oh, what? I got the same thing. What do you want to major? I want to be a physicist. They're like, are you sure? I was like, yeah. And then the athletic academic advisor at the time was like, I'll do what I can, but like, nobody in that program, it kind of like there's no pathway that they know of. Like, they don't get those type of athletes all the time. So if we're being honest, the job of the academic advisor for these athletes, their number one job is to make sure you're eligible. It's not to make sure you graduate. They do want you to graduate, but their number one job is that you're eligible to play. That's it. If they gotta put you in some bullshit classes so you're at the right credit hours and get the right GPA to be eligible, That's their number one job. So when you got guys coming in majoring in like civil engineering, physics, math, whatever it is, it's kind of uncharted territory to them. So what happened is, and this isn't anybody's fault, it's really my fault, because I should have went to the academic advisor on campus, not the athletic one. But I took, you know, I did theater in high school, so I ended up doing theater in college, right? So I was like, that's where my improv comes from, is theater in college. And then I took all my general studies degrees my first year.
Mm-hmm.
And so people that don't know, might not know, is you don't want to take all your gen eds at the same time. You want to because your gen eds are generally kind of easy courses, right? Your English, your history, your intimate relationships.
Writing.
I took an intimate relationships class because you have to have certain class in other areas. I took all that. What you want to do is, since my degree, I got to take a lot of math, a lot of physics. You want to take one hard physics, one hard math, and maybe 2 gen eds to kind of balance your workload. Well, what happened is, one, I went to my academic advisor on campus. She was like, "Are you a physics major?" That's the first thing she asked me, looking at my transcript. I was like, "Yes." She was, "You're a year behind. You should have taken physics 1 your first year." I didn't. I took like English 1000, and like all these. I almost had a minor in like psychology or like it's like some other stuff. And so what happened is, after my first year, the rest of my time academically, I was taking 2 to 3 grad level physics classes and 2 to 3 grad level math classes in the same semester in season. So GPA did this. There's one, I got on academic probation because I had it was in season. I took like matrix theory, advanced mathematics. I took quantum mechanics and electrodynamics or thermomechanics, something like that. All grad level. Even though I'm taking an undergrad, they're like cross-listed, but it's grad level content. And I'm doing it in season. So I was struggling, and I struggled. I eventually figured out my last 2 years, the last 3 semesters, I had like 3.7, 3.8, 3.5. I figured it out. But that shafted my GPA. So when I graduated, I had like a 2.5. I ended up like a 1.8, 1.9. So I was barely eligible because I was barely passing classes. So I have a terrible GPA. Take the GRE, average, a little bit below average score. I'm trying to get into grad school. What I did is, I had a general physics degree. I went to the supervisor I work with now, where I've been with her since 2018. I'm still with her. That's why I moved here, because she got a job here. I was one class away from having an emphasis in astrophysics. Just because my electives, I just happened to take astronomy or astrophysics because that kind of space interested me the most. And so my academic advisor on campus was like, "Well, you're a credit away from astrophysics emphasis. You could do that, take a class, or you can do research for credit, and you can get that emphasis, or you can just keep a general physics degree." I was like, I might as well do that. So I went to my supervisor. I just cold emailed her, "Hey, I'm an undergrad. I play football. I'm 1 credit away from astrophysics. Do you have a spot for undergrad?" So I worked for that semester and I did great. Like I ended up falling in love with, I wanted to do black holes. She does stellar dust, which is just dust that stars make. And she was like, "I don't do black holes, but just try this for a semester. If you don't like it, you can get into something else." It's kind of like just exploring. Mm-hmm. I fell in love with it. I love working with the Stardust group at UTSA. Shout out Dr. Speck and the Stardust group. And I fell in love with it, and I did really well. I was working with like models. I was making models of stars, yada yada. So she was like, "Well, if you want to get," and I was like, she's like, "What do you want to be when you? What's your job? What do you want to do?" I was like, "I want to be a professor." "Well, you want to be a professor? You gotta get your PhD, so you have to go to grad school." And this is late. This is my last semester. Usually, you start that like sophomore, junior year. You start research for credit. So I'm behind the ball already. It took me. I was a year and a half behind graduating. Luckily, you have to be in summer school to do like the summer stuff. So summer school got me to catch up. But God, I'm telling you right now, do not take a math class in the summer. I took calculus 2 in the summer. So it's a very hard math. It's a fast-paced math in reg semester. You cut the time in half. You got 2 months. Oh my, it was terrible. It's funny, shout out Kev. We both took Calc 2, and the day of the final, he turned in his paper to withdraw from the class because he wasn't gonna make it. After the exam, I was like, "What happened?" He goes, "Bro, I had to withdraw. I wasn't gonna pass it. I wasn't gonna pass it." That's how rough it was. And Kev is
y'all could withdraw right before the final. I think MTSU you had to. It was like after your midterm or after the middle of your class, you had to make a decision you're gonna withdraw.
Well, you can withdraw. You have a deadline to drop the class, but you can withdraw at any point before. And then if you withdraw, it shows up as a W. I'm not sure if you have to pay it back or like what the situation is in this. And in the summer, it's different from the semester. But Kev's a smart cookie, so like it's not like Kev just could get like Kev's a smart ass, like Kev's smart. But that's just the kind of pitch. So I finally catch up. It took me 4.5 once I got caught back. It still took me like an extra semester. Barely passed GRE. So GRE wise, GPA wise, there's no way I should have got into MTSU or Mizzou's grad school for physics, their PhD program. I got in because my letter of recommendation. Well, it turns out my supervisor, she's the head of the astronomy department at Mizzou. So she was like,
you're in there.
She was like,
she said you're in there.
She's like, just apply. I was like, you sure? Like, I'm sweating. Like, there's no way I'm gonna get in. I have to go somewhere else. She's like, just apply. I got you. And then I had her as a letter of recommendation. She's the head of the astronomy department, and there's 2 professors that I got a good relationship with because I was going to their office hours. Like, I was struggling in these classes, but I was giving effort. Like my matrix theory professor, I'm in the front row. I'm asking questions. I'm trying to understand. It's a writing intensive math class. So it was one of those things where you have to do a writing intensive. So it was a twofer. So it was a math. It checked off my math. It checked off my writing intensive. But it was proofs of matrix theory. So there was no numbers. There was arbitrary letters, right? I was failing that class. But I kept going to office hours, kept asking questions. I'm taking notes. I'm trying. Out of pure pity, she gave me a C in the class. Out of pure pity.
We'll give you extra credit.
Bro, she felt so bad for me because and then she knew I played football because there was some class I had to miss because of travel. So I think she just felt sorry and she understood my situation. She saw the effort.
That's what I tell people. I'm like, bro, if you show up to class, bro, and if you really struggling, you show up to them office hours, bro,
dude,
they is not gonna fail you.
Dude, she threw me a bone. Like
They're not gonna fail you.
If I had failed that class, that probably would have changed the whole trajectory of my academic career. But and then I barely failed it though, so it's not like she just completely just.
Yeah.
I barely failed it, so she like threw me a couple points to get a C. Because in grad school, a D is an F in grad school.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know, a D is an F. Well, this is undergrad anyway, but a D doesn't. You can't if it's a class for your major. A D doesn't count. It's basically you have to retake it. She gave me the C, so I didn't have to retake the class. And so, like, again, networking, because I worked with her and the 2 professors that gave me a letter of recommendations, that's what got me into the PhD program. And then, you know, one thing with the GRE, I know I'm rambling, but, you know, there's a lot of context I want to give to people. The GRE really doesn't mean anything. Now that I'm on I don't want to say professor side, but I'm on this side of the fence when it comes to academia, standardized testing doesn't correlate to how well you do in college. So a lot of these universities now, they have you do the GRE as a formality, but like UTSA, they don't require GRE scores anymore. They just look at your GPA, they look at your grades from your classes of your major. So if you failed English, that's cool, but like what'd you do in your physics classes? And so I think that's one thing they did too, for how I got into UTSA. They just looked at anyway. So the GRE, there's a study they did. The GRE has no correlation to how well you do in college. I had a below average GRE score. Undergrad, I had a 2.7 GPA, so it wasn't even over 3.0. But in grad school, I think I've had 1B. Like, well, honestly, in grad school is different. You can't get a C, but I don't want to say not struggled, but I am a semester or 2 away from getting my PhD.
Yeah. Like
my research I'm doing, like I am pretty well adversed to like I know what I'm doing. So it's just one of those things where I'm basically to summarize all of this with the GRE stuff is sometimes just because you get a bad test score on a standardized test, as long as you're got a good resume, you network, and you really try your hardest and apply yourself in the classroom, you'll be okay. You'll be okay.
Completely agree.
You'll be okay. Now, before we wrap it up here, I want you to give me, we'll do 2. and I have a thing that I started doing on my pod. I want you to give me 2 pieces of advice that you would give to somebody that's watching, or something that somebody told you that you really resonates with you, or something that you might be living by right now.
Okay. 2 pieces of advice. I would say work-life balance is
Damn, that was gonna be mine. What's it doing?
super important. As I just think in this chapter in life, if you're kind of in the chapter I'm in, when it's kind of like you're adulting, you're figuring stuff out early in your career, it is great to establish a work-life balance, because you have to take into account that it's important to have a life. I know when you start off early in your career, you always want to say you're going to work super hard, get all these promotions and show the world and all these other pieces, right? But what's really important, you don't want to miss family time. You don't want to miss, like, for example, this week I could have been at work working, but instead I went to visit my brother and have good experiences with him. And there's going to be certain aspects of your life you're going to look back and regret that you missed out on because you are a workaholic. So focus on work-life balance. It's good to do it early in your career because it's harder to do later in your career.
Get that habit early.
Get that habit early. So I would say that's one piece of advice. The second piece of advice I would say is to go 100% on the goals you are working on. So if you feel like you want to start a new goal, be committed to it, be disciplined to it, celebrate your wins. Don't always discourage yourself when you maybe fall short. Celebrate what's good, and give your 100%, 110%. And be satisfied with that. I know we probably have some perfectionists out there. I am also one, so just know to get yourself a pat on the back when it's well deserved. Maybe even when you don't think you deserved it, still give yourself a pat on the back, because there's always something positive you're putting out in the world. So yeah, those are my 2.
Hey, you took both of mine actually. One thing I will say, it's kind of piggybacking off of work-life balance, time management. Now, some of these I feel like I say all the time. I cannot stress how important time management is. I feel like work-life balance obviously falls into time management, because I do think it's important to allot time to have time to yourself. Like, my gaming is, I can show you my Google Calendar right now. It literally says gaming Thursday night, gaming Friday night. I have Applebee's scheduled, because that's one thing. It's like an escape for me. Time management, literally. Google Calendar is such a powerful tool. Put down all the stuff that you have to do. Work, you have kids, whatever your kid schedule is. Find time for you, or find time for you and your significant other, whatever it is. Like, literally, it sounds crazy. Schedule everything. I have my sleep scheduled on my calendar. I have when I wake up. I have when I'm going this and there. Manage your time, because I believe procrastination is becoming I think procrastination is a pandemic right now. So many people wait till the last minute to do things. It causes stress. And then when you wait till the last minute to do things, your work-life balance gets out of order, because instead of starting something you should have started earlier, now you don't have a work-life balance because you can't put things off anymore. Schedule your time and make time for yourself. The second thing I would say is, it's kind of going off the motivation, which is kind of like the 100% thing you're saying. But you have to find a way to motivate yourself, whatever it is. Let's say you're doing something for your kids. Keep that in your head every day you want to do something. I have so many people come to me, especially when it comes to fitness, because that's just the biggest thing for me right now when training people is, I have people that are talking about they want to do this, they want to do that, and I always ask, when are you going to start? Oh, I think I'm going to start in May. Why? Why start in May? Why? Again, back to kind of procrastination. Dude, start now. Start taking care of yourself now, taking care of your business, And life becomes, once I started scheduling and I motivated myself out the yin yang, stress in life is literally been at my all-time lows. Basically since I moved here, that's when I started. Once I started my PhD program, I got my Google Calendar, I schedule everything, and I know when I have to do things, when things are due, I make a to-do list. My life, as stress-wise, is at an all-time low because I am motivated every single morning when I wake up because I know my goals, what I want to achieve, and I have written down how I'm going to achieve those things. When we get back to the crib, I'll show you my business plan I made for 2025. I have it written down, my business plan for this year, and I can see it every day, so I'm motivated because I want the supplements to take off. I want Final Form to become a staple in the supplement industry. Starting off small, how am I going to do that? Well, not posting on Instagram 2-3 weeks at a time, my Instagram being dormant, that doesn't help. Not making videos doesn't help. I gotta post reels. I gotta get out there. I gotta network. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting long-winded. Those are my two. Last thing I started doing with the pod is I have somebody, the previous person, Uncle Strib, leave a question for the next guest.
Okay.
So shout out Raina, she gave this one. And then I'm gonna have you leave a question and we'll do it off air because I don't want people to know. This one, it's kind of silly.
Okay.
If you could be one breed of dog, what would it be?
If I could be one breed of dog, what would it be?
Yes.
I would say probably a Shiba Inu.
Why?
Why? Because I've always wanted to go to Tokyo, Japan. So like I feel, and that dog's from Japan. So it's like, hey, I'm in Japan now.
Which is okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. So you just want to be a dog in Japan, or you want to be a specific breed?
I guess both, but I guess I want to be a dog in Japan. But then at the same time, breed-wise, it wouldn't be a bad breed. Or I could be a pit bull and just be a dog.
Well, let me ask you this, because now I'm just curious.
Okay.
What if, no matter what breed you're going to be, you're a dog in Japan? What breed would it be?
Oh, what breed would it be?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably say a pit bull.
Pit bull. Why pit bull?
Because they're just, when I think of just a tenacious,
You just want to be a savage dog?
I just want to be a savage dog. That's what I want to be.
All right.
Just want to be super strong and, just...
All right. There you have
Another
it.
dog would mess with me, for sure.
Yeah, very good
You
point.
know.
Well, y'all have it here, and I'm going to get your question off air. It's been another one. I appreciate you. It's been an episode of Uncle Strib. We'll catch you guys next time.
I'm gonna chase my dream.